What up, family? This is the Decisive Element podcast with Ronnie Portillo. Now let's get it. All right, man. All right, we got Tyson DeLacruz. You got a fancy name, bro.
Thanks, man.
It just flows perfectly.
Thanks, man. I get so many compliments on it.
Dude.
It's not me, though.
I know it's not
was my
true,
mom
but I
and my
swear
dad.
I was like, man, Tyson DeLacruz, man. Let me get some of that shit right there, man. Hey, but welcome, everybody. This is Tyson DeLacruz, my main man. We've met, what was that, 2017?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
2017, we both went through this, what was it called back then? Mastermind Fit? No, that's what it's called now. Anyways, Aubrey Marcus course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And we met then, just been admiring you from afar so far.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, bro, because you're one of the few people that lived in Vegas that we went through the course.
Yeah.
And then I appreciate all your stuff that you're doing. So this guy, real estate, main source of thing. He knows all the stuff about real estate, and we'll talk about that later, probably off the side. But he has his YouTube channel. Go follow him. What is it called? Very quick. Plug it right now.
It's at TysonDeLacruz.com. Everything is at TysonDeLacruz.com. So Instagram,
Everything.
YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And we'll throw all that in the description as well. So if you want to check that down there too.
Awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, man, you inspire me with your videos, bro, and I'm just trying to give back, trying to do the same thing I can do. So he talks about business strategies, income resources, mindset, and what was the last one? There was one
Lifestyle
more.
hacks,
Lifestyle
man.
hacks, bro.
Yeah,
The lifestyle hacks, man. So what's I guess the reason why I want to get you here is, man, what has been getting you? What are the key things you're dealing with now? What can you share with people now that are helping you get through this life? And how are you clearly have become your own decisive element, and that's what this podcast is about. You're the one trying to dictate your life, and you dictate what it's going to become. And so you're the decisive element, man. So I just want to get your get your thoughts, get inside the nit and gritty. You know, it's all black right now, so I'm going to call it the void, bro. We're in the void.
I love this.
All right.
Honestly, man, like the setup of this, as soon as I walked into this space, I was like, yo, this got the lights, got the multiple camera angles. Like the setup is very admirable, for real. So first off, like, thank you for having me on, for real. Like,
Well, I appreciate it.
And whatever, the void, if this is what it's called, man, I'm with that.
Yeah, right now it's called the void, man. We're going to go from there. And we're going to figure out as we go, man. It's the journey, right? So it's going to go with it, but we got to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me something, man. What's been going on with you lately? What has been the key things?
So your the question that you asked was, what kind of keeps me motivated?
What keeps you moving? And then we can even go farther back in the let's go farther back. Mm-hmm. What created that inside of you that you wanted to dictate now everything about your life and take on that full responsibility? Because that's what it is, and we got to recognize you for that. It's a responsibility that you're the one now determine everything about your life.
Yeah, I've always had this entrepreneurial type spirit in me when I was young. I knew that traditional earning systems or traditional way of life that I saw my parents make a living or other people make a living just wasn't for me. I'm an incredibly creative dude. I love to paint. I love to draw. I love to cultivate and make like magnificent things. Yeah. And through that process, when I was younger, I was like, I want to make money so I can buy things, right? Because we didn't have a bunch of money growing up. So I wanted to buy and kind of create my own way. Mm-hmm. So I started a grass cutting company.
Okay. Like
I hired a couple people, like actually friends of mine, to create this grass cutting company. I'd cut one lawn, and I was like, how can I multiply this? So I hired my friends, and now I'm able to cut 3 lawns in the same time. Yeah. So we cut the whole neighborhood.
Hell yeah.
Then I transitioned to like a bike shop. Like I had a bike shop in my backyard where I sold bike parts, chains, sprockets, tires, all the
whatever
things.
It was.
Yeah, all the things, and we would do repairs in the backyard too. Because as a kid you didn't have you didn't have a car, so you couldn't go to the bike shop and
to get it fixed.
So I was like,
were you all into like the jumps and shit, bro?
Yeah,
right. Because I remember back. How old are you, man? If you don't mind me asking.
34 years young.
Okay, I'm 33 years young, bro. Right. So I remember you've been in Vegas the whole time?
Yes.
All right. It was 2000. I don't know. I must have been like 12 years old. But when I moved here, it was 7, and like all from like Warm Springs and Paradise. Warm Springs South was dirt.
Yeah.
So we used to take bikes and do that shit all the time.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't even actually know about this side of town until I'm, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Because
what side of town you
I
from?
grew up on the east side, so
Okay.
it was very underdeveloped over
Yeah,
there,
hell yeah.
and like I didn't venture too much.
Yeah.
I didn't venture too much around this side of town. So,
Okay.
but yeah, man, I started the bike shop, and then I knew I had this inkling, and I still do. Like, there's this drive in me to do more and to be more than even what's presented on social media and who I am on my daily life. There's always this passion for me to continually to always improve.
Mm-hmm.
That's a detriment and also like a real positive thing.
Yeah. Let's. Why would you say that's a detriment? I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you a
for
little bit.
sure, for sure. You know, it can be a detriment because the continuous ever unfolding or improvement of myself isn't necessarily like the push for that, like the continuous push for that isn't always necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Based on like the external space, you know, like it's not always needed.
Yeah.
Like we can always just remain present in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we don't always need to strive to be better.
Mm-hmm.
As fast as I want to, you know, like, cause I'll achieve one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll achieve a thing, like let's say opening up a bike shop.
Yeah.
As a kid. And then I achieve and manifest that very, very quickly. And then I'm like, okay, what's the next thing? How can I scale this? How can I grow? The same thing with my businesses now. You know, it's like, okay, I achieved this thing. Now what's the next?
Yeah.
What's the next step? Like how
I hella relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, that gets me because sometimes I don't remain too present on the wins that I have. So I'll get a win or achieve something, and I won't sit in that very long, and I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah.
You know, then I'm on to the next thing, which can be somewhat of a detriment, you know, not necessarily in a negative way. Just something to look at.
Yeah, something
you know?
to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
I find that happening in my life too, man. I got little ones.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when I'm worrying about this thing and then I'm trying to accomplish this and I'm trying to do is that, and then they ask me for juice or something while I'm walking around, it's like, oh, your mind gets too fragmented.
Yes.
You know, you're thinking about too many different
Yes.
things, and then that ego comes involved, that self-judgment, like I didn't take the necessary steps
Yes.
in this project that day
Yeah.
like I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, and
Absolutely.
trying to remain present. Like, I've been trying to think about, I need specific things to accomplish that day instead of like an objective where I'm trying to get to. But so what else was going on then? So on the flip side, that was the detriment. We talked about the detriment. Now what is the outcomes, the positive outcomes?
The positive outcomes, man, like it's this ever unfolding of like discovering of who I am, man. Like discovering on like how far I can push, how far I can like energetically push, physically push, what things like I can tangibly create in this world.
Yeah.
And the more that I continue on to unfold in like the personal like embodiment space of like who I am, I understand that this space is really limitless. You know, like we create the realities that we're in.
Yep.
So that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
You know, because if I see something and I wanna get it, and I wanna accomplish this thing, like starting a YouTube channel or, you know, starting a podcast like you're doing, and then it comes to fruition, like you do it. You know, like you create all of this.
Like it's happening.
It's happening.
And you get to see your progress as you move.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, that's the super dope reward thing about it, you know, and that kind of keeps me going.
You're getting me hype right now, bro. Because I'm not, hey, man, it's just, you know, trying to keep it open and honest. I've wanted this thing for a minute. Yeah. For a while. And it just hasn't happened. My life was something here, something there, and I just couldn't find the time, or my own insecurities were getting in the way, or something I didn't have. There wasn't enough structure. But then I realized, man, I'm never going to have it all. You just got to put it in. And any of that shit got to go. You know, all the stuff that you think that, for me, it was like the things that I thought were important, I guess they're falling away. And the real part, and that's the journey, like what you were talking about, is that the creating the space for myself to be able to explore, I think is awesome. And you've been doing that, man. I've been admiring, like I said, I've been admiring your YouTube channels. I mean, I think the farthest YouTube channel I saw you at for 2 years ago. And man, with the evolution between that one and the ones you came out with like today, fire, bro.
Thanks, man.
You know?
Honestly, and you know, kind of going back to the question of like, you know, what continues to like drive me
you
is that continuous notion of being better, right? So 2 years ago, I posted my first thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
I did a lot of things on Facebook and Instagram, but there were some insecurities regarding posting on YouTube. I didn't understand the platform.
Yep.
You know, I didn't know how it works, and the dopamine wasn't readily available to me because when you post on YouTube, it gets lost in the ether.
Yeah.
Where on Instagram and Facebook, people already know me.
Yeah.
So like the dopamine hits super fast. So like I was like, I'm not ready to grow that space
Gotcha.
yet. So that lay dormant for like up until maybe like 5 months ago, you know. But through that time, like I was perfecting this craft of creating content and creating like visually stimulating and educational videos on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go and like learn this YouTube thing out, because as entrepreneurs or as business owners, just life in general, we can have like all these things that we want to accomplish, like a war board of things that we want to accomplish. And if we try to hit all those things, we're going to be like a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yep.
You know, I feel that it's important to like learn one style of platform and go commit and all that and embody that. And then once that's sustainable, then you can move on to the next thing. It's the move on portion is still something that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Because this other thing, this other business or this other social media platform still has to run.
Yes.
So it's
and
like,
it needs to run smoothly too. And you have to have the confidence to leave that while you're going over here to try the new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find yourself get complacent sometimes?
Man, I don't know if you've ever had like your chart done, not necessarily like an astrology chart, but there's these natural tendencies that when we were born into this world, we have our natural tendencies of like, you know, whether we're visionaries, so we see things, or we're very we're like prophets in a way where we can manifest things very quickly. Yeah. Or we love to like work. There's different, you know, categories for each human.
It reminds me of the Myers and Briggs psychological personality.
Very
questions.
Similarly, right? So the moment that I understand that I can like manifest things very quickly, and I didn't realize this up until maybe about a year and a half ago, because I would say, all right, I'm gonna start this real estate business, and I'm gonna go ham, and I'm gonna crush it, and then it happens, and then I'm like, all right, I'm bored. Yeah.
I'm bored. I need something else to do. Yeah.
Or, all right, I'm going to learn how to play the guitar, or I'm going to learn how to paint realistic.
That was a Michael Jackson painting on Instagram?
Yeah, there was, man.
Fire.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, bro. I was like, damn, look at that thing. That shit was dope.
Yeah, man. Like,
so you've been broadening out all those different types of things.
And then like the thing comes and I'm like, I'm bored, you know? There was a documentary about, I believe, the bass player of Blink 182, the original bass player from Blink 182. He left Blink 182 at his prime.
Yes.
And they asked him why, and then he went to go do a bunch of these other things. And I feel sometimes we as humans, and you know, just in life in general, we put ourselves in these boxes, and then we stay in these boxes. You know, just because you went to school for accounting, doesn't mean you got to be an accountant for for the rest of your life. You know.
Yeah. I feel that, man. So welcome to my exit strategy, bro.
Awesome.
You're the first one on my exit strategy.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Because I've been in the military now for 14 and a half years, bro. And I'm trying to make it when I hit the 20, even if it's we could talk about that later, the whole retirement, this thing. But I just want to be done. I want to hit 20 and be out. So I'm like, I got to start now. So this is what I'm trying to do, because in the military, it doesn't feel like I have a job. It's just my lifestyle. And I appreciate that. And being actually like in recruiting and retention. So I'm talking to people, building relationships, having conversations, giving speeches, giving lectures, giving educational, whatever type of stuff it is. And I try to do it like what I appreciate about your video is that you have to build content that is entertaining, entertaining and educational. People don't like to sit there and just be watching your shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, what is this guy saying? What's happening right now?
Yeah.
You know, some people do, I guess, but that's not my style.
For sure.
So having this creative passion that's coming out, man, I've really admired you, how it's grown. So I'm hoping that I can turn this get into the same type of rhythm, same type of bass, because I figured that shit out, man.
Yeah.
And now I'm in something that I have no idea what's going on, right? My man, Mustache Mike over here, you see how he got it all locked down, bro.
His mustache is fire.
It's fire, right? That's why.
You know what's so funny is I never get I know I should have the face cam for me over here, but it's just, we're talking about my mustache. But every time I go anywhere, it's never a girl that compliments my mustache. It's always like some dude with like also a mustache, and he's like 4 or 5 PBRs deep.
This dude got a nice beard too.
He wants to tell me how cool my mustache is.
It's great.
That shit's work, bro.
Yeah.
And like even your beard, this shit is work.
It is.
You had to get comfortable with all that pokiness, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, bro.
I grew out the mustache as a joke, and then I started shaving it, and I looked 8 years younger. So I started. So I was like,
I'm a grown ass man, dog.
I guess I gotta keep
this thing, man. Hell yeah. But yeah, man, I really resonate with the fact that you got to keep going, right? So like I get bored easily too. So it's like I'm working on this, and I'm working on this, and then I've come into the same conclusion. Well, you got to stop. Let's master one, move on to the next ones. And once you master that one, move on to the next ones. Like with me and my kids, I got to make sure that I'm there with my kids too. So I don't have a specific amount of free time all the time to be able to do all type of stuff. So I need to be able to make sure my resources coming in for them. But then also I don't see myself working at a regular job again. I just can't do it.
Yeah. There's so many really cool opportunities out here, especially now with, you know, what C-19 and all this stuff that happened in 2020. There's this acceleration with this digital era.
For sure.
I personally feel, you know, with just the kind of backstory a little bit, like with real estate, it eliminated a lot of this like time. I trade my time for money, quote unquote, like this job.
Yeah.
So
how'd you get it? We'll get into it, but how'd you get into that once you're done with this thing?
Yeah, for sure. It's so just with the time and money, like I'm able to like, I have more time to look at markets, look at all this other stuff. So with this thing happening in 2020, I feel that the digital space, like the digital era, has been accelerated, you know, 5 to 10 times even than what it naturally would have if this thing wouldn't have occurred.
For sure.
So I find that there's an abundance of opportunity through all the mists and muddy waters right now, you know, to create content like this. If individuals aren't creating content or putting themselves out there on these types of platforms, they're almost doing themselves a disservice, because this is the way, like with all these cameras and all this stuff, this is the way that we connect now.
Yeah, now. Yeah.
You know, and this is the new form.
Yeah, I saw what you were talking about. I don't know when it actually came out, but you were saying the phone is the new TV.
Oh, yeah.
And I really resonated with that, because even, I mean, the kids, man, the iPads or honestly, not even just kids, everybody.
For sure.
The phone is everywhere. For
sure.
You go anywhere, when people are bored, they look at your phone.
Yeah.
You know, and I always have like this judgment in my head, because it's just like, I need to get off this phone. I don't like that it's everything.
Yeah.
Because it's my personal life, it's my business life, it's my educational life, it's my financial life. Like everything is literally on this phone right now. But at the same time, it's just like you can't swim against the river.
Yeah, you can, but you'll be left behind.
You're gonna be left behind, and then you're gonna feel
if you're looking to grow a business in 2021 or do anything in 2021
and onward.
The digital space, like even if you look at these, I'm in this amazing book right now. It's called Post Corona. This individual started writing this book at the beginning of March and finished it in June. So there's a bunch of like errors and typos and things like that. But he simply just wanted to get it out. And there was this amazing stat that stood out to me that Amazon and Apple increased their worth by $19.1 trillion. They acquired companies like Disney, Netflix, Comcast. These are things that are eye-opening, right? Because this digital space it's here, and if you choose not to do it, that's totally fine. But then you're just not going to be able to connect and grow business.
Yes.
You
most of us want to have like a life where we get to wake up and do what we want.
For sure. For sure. And there's so many opportunities, man. Like, you can teach somebody English. You can like go on Fiverr and Upwork. If like Mustache Mike over here knows how to do all these things with the soundboards, and this is some stuff that you could do like on Fiverr,
I was gonna say Fiverr is great. I've actually used Upwork to help build a website. Like I just paid this Russian kid like $50 to set up the framework of a website. And I mean,
it's there.
There's obviously the timing is a little bit off because he's in Russia, and so when I'm awake, he's like going to sleep. So there's like a 2-hour window where I could talk to him. But like you're saying, that stuff's so available everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think the continuous outsourcing of these big companies like MGM and things like that, like they're realizing that you don't need an employee like in-house.
Yeah, as much as you thought before.
Dude, you don't. So, but yeah,
So how'd you get into real estate?
How'd I get into real
Let's get into there, because this is your main, from what I saw, like that's your main bread and butter. And it's just like, man, if I got real estate questions, I gotta come ask you, because clearly you know what's going on. I didn't even know what a wholesale contract was until you said that shit, bro. So what started that whole journey to get you to where you're at now? Because literally, we all got to make money somehow.
For sure.
Right. And we all have to have some type of main platform, at least for the beginning of your process. And then little by little, you turn into your full-time spot.
Yeah.
So how did that begin?
Great question, man. 2015 was about the time frame that I really got serious in real estate.
Okay.
I was a traditional REO agent. Those of you that aren't familiar with what REOs are, they're bank-owned properties.
Okay.
And I represented the bank.
Okay.
Or a broker of the bank.
Gotcha.
Of those properties.
Mm-hmm.
So typically, I would show the property to investors.
Mm-hmm.
They would buy the property, and they would, at that time, you could literally just paint it like a beige color,
mm-hmm.
white color, whatever, put new carpet in, and relist it and sell it. And they were making pretty solid money.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the moment that I walked into that brokerage and became an REO agent, I didn't want to be like what I was seeing in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw a bunch of, and no offense to
of
anybody
course,
that watches, but like 50, 60, 70-year-old people that had to show houses in order to make a living. So the key word there is like they had to show houses.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like have to show houses to make a living. So I was, I was learning the techniques and like how to sell and acquire properties. And through that process, that's where I met my first investor. This particular investor didn't want anything to do with me, man. Like I met him and I was like, hey, because he got started in the 90s.
Okay. And
he was like, I'm find a property and I'll help you out, kid. He's 47 at the time, 50 years old. He was like, whatever. Like, and he didn't want anything to do with me. I would call him. He wouldn't answer. I was like, man, I want to get into this. Like, I want to see what you do. Like, you flip houses. Like, you buy these properties. I don't want to be an agent.
Yeah.
Because an agent to me is just like pushing, like, you're just pushing a sales process.
You're part of the, I was about to say, you're part of the process.
Right.
You want to be the main man to make all the money from the side.
For sure.
Yeah, why
For
not?
sure.
Yeah.
And this guy didn't want anything to do with me, man. So I pulled a list of all the houses that he owned that he was working on. And I went to those houses. And just to, like, I would go there periodically throughout the week, throughout the day, just to see if he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sit there and, like, wait for him.
Hell yeah.
And, like, while I would wait for him, I remember time specifically I was waiting at this downtown house. I would just sit on the fireplace and, like, look at properties on my phone or, like, make phone calls.
While you're in a property that you're looking at.
While I'm in a property waiting for him to talk to him.
Yeah.
And he showed up and he was like, all right, dude, like, let's go to lunch.
Okay.
And then through that process,
little by little,
This is why it's important to like find mentors.
Yes.
To help guide you.
100%.
You know.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that at that time. I was like, yo, this guy doesn't want to talk to me. You know, this guy doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anything to do with me. Like what, you know, what it
Yeah.
is. But like, as I understand,
What kept you going?
man, just bro, like the drive,
Yeah.
man. Like he has something that I want.
There was just some type of interest you saw in him, and
Like-
it was like, I need that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
knowledge, whatever it is, like he has something that I don't have
Mm-hmm.
that I would like to obtain.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to give this everything that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't receive it from him, I'm going to find it from somebody else.
Yeah.
And then eventually he was like, all right, cool. I'll show you some of my process on how I find some of these properties. And then from there, I found a property, and he was like, I'll front, you know, the rest
Yeah.
of the money. Cause at that time I had $15,000 in my bank account.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was doing some real estate transactions, but
Okay.
that was really like that's what I had in my account, you
Okay.
know, like, and I was taught to save and all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then he was like, well, give me the 15 grand. We'll close on the deal. I'll pay for the rest, and then we'll split the proceeds. And I was so nervous, man.
Hell yeah.
I was like, this is all,
Like, what's happening?
this is all I got.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
You know, I got 15 grand.
Yep.
I'm going zero in the account
Yep.
and hoping that these other real estate transactions come through.
Hell yeah.
We closed on that house. Then we started working on it. That first deal, like, long story short, that first deal yielded about like $75,000.
Hell yeah.
We split the proceeds, and then we continued to roll that through the evolution of our partnership, which
Hell yeah.
lasted probably about like a year and a half or 2 years.
Okay.
And through that time frame, we probably did about maybe like 30 homes together.
Hell yeah. So then you just started stacking up all that stuff and then learning the knowledge running the process.
Yeah. So like, you know, he's older.
Okay.
And I'm so grateful like to meet him.
Yeah, of course.
He's older. The systems that he was using to
Mhm.
find these homes were older systems, you know?
So
They worked.
So what you're telling me is you figured out the older system,
Right.
and then you started recognizing all the new stuff that you can do based off your mind and how your connections
Correct.
started, and then
If,
the compound interest started just going pretty much is what happened.
yes.
Yeah.
And creating a better process,
Yeah.
right? Because at that time there wasn't these systems that are out now, like on
Okay.
how to skip trace and
Gotcha.
get information
Mhm.
and all this information gathering stuff. Like
Mhm.
before, you had to go down to the county and
Mhm.
pull the records, like physical, like they were called microfiche,
Okay.
which are like little slides that go on a computer and you see like the document.
Like a slide?
Yeah.
What the hell?
So, but like, you know, that was back in the day. And
Yeah.
then like the county, they kind of just started doing their recording process in, I think, like 1997. So it's not that old.
Oh, okay.
Like their electronic
Yeah,
recording.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not that old.
Mm-hmm.
And I took his process and I made it better.
Yeah.
And this is how we were able to scale to do 50 plus houses a
Yeah,
year
yeah.
in multiple different states.
Yep.
LA, Chicago, Pittsburgh.
Oh, nice. So you're doing it everywhere.
Yeah. That
Hell
was up
yeah.
until 2020, obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Until all this shit
yeah.
comes down
Uh-huh.
now. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot. I was gonna say my parents in Arizona, they flip houses in like Sun City, but it's all.
yeah.
But I mean, they get 50 houses a year. That's crazy.
That's a
Obviously,
lot,
you have a
dude.
whole team and whatnot, but
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
was.
because they do like 3 a year.
Yeah.
And there's like but it's just him and my stepmom, but they're just stressed out constantly from it.
Dude, yeah, you know, three a year is great. Like 3 a year, 10 a year is great. I think it's a great either side hustle or like
Mhm.
main income. Like I
Yeah,
made it into a business.
Hell yeah.
There was a moment. I think it was like at the end of 2019.
Okay.
We just grew so much.
Yeah.
There were some things that weren't necessarily in alignment with me, so we reduced a lot of that.
Gotcha.
Like I had 17 plus employees. It became like a lot.
A little bit
and-
more than what you wanted, or kind of the angle wasn't the way you, or the direction didn't want to go.
The
way?
pursuit, yeah, the
Yeah,
pursuit wasn't the way that I wanted to go. Like I got this intuitive hit back in like August, and it was like, hey, reduce, you know, like close down stuff, you know, whether that's God, universe, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever anybody believes in, you know.
All the same shit.
Yeah, for sure. I got this intuitive hit, and it was like, close everything, you know. And I was like, nah. And then I meditated on it, and then that's what I started doing, man. And then I'm so grateful that I did, because during C19,
oh yeah, for sure.
It was on top of the houses that I had, the renters not paying and things like that, on top of like babysitting 17 other people.
Yeah.
It would have been really emotionally taxing for me.
Heck yeah.
So I'm glad that I took that.
Yeah.
And then like through that, I got some friend of mine was like, hey, come down to Peru with me for a month. And I was like, all right, cool. So
when did you go there?
I went to Peru at the end of 2019.
Hell yeah.
I stayed there for a month. Stayed in the Amazon jungle for about 2 weeks.
Hell yeah.
No cell phone.
Went
like,
deep.
Yeah,
Hell
for
yeah.
sure. You know, and like I really got in realignment with a lot of these things to grow like more so from a passion place.
Yeah.
You know, because at the time when I started real estate, like I was like, oh, this is a great way to make money.
It was about the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know if you're familiar with this or the viewers too, like there's this thing called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Hell yeah, bro.
So the bottom line of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, you know, you got to have like sleep, food, shelter.
The basic human
right?
biological needs.
Right.
Yeah.
And if those aren't satisfied, you know,
can't go up the
you
pyramid.
can't go up.
Yeah.
So obviously that's why I started in real estate.
Yep.
To get those basic needs met.
Yep.
And as you reach the top of that pyramid, it's more like, okay, how can you teach others how to do that?
Exactly.
So that's been my
your little journey right there.
Yeah,
Key things, man. Key things that came out to me right now is your meditation.
Uh-huh.
You said that multiple times already while you're here.
Uh-huh.
I could talk about let me first ask you, what has that been doing for you? And how involved is that in your life?
Man, meditation is huge, bro. For me.
Yeah.
I experienced some like severe depression. Like I experienced the emotion of depression severely after a family. My grandfather passed away. He was like my father figure in my life.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah. And through the experience of that, like I was on a path prior to that looking back at now, like I don't know who that person is, right? Like I don't recognize that
When
person.
was this?
That was like 7 years ago.
Okay.
So it's interesting because the journey of my businesses and personal development kind of run parallel. And without real estate, I wouldn't have had the free time to dive deeper in the notions of myself.
Yeah.
So when it comes to your question about how important is meditation in my life, it's incredibly important because it allows me to remain centered. You know, it allows me to remain calm. It allows me to download and receive information. Because we're so busy being human beings.
Yeah.
You know, like doing everything.
You're being pulled so many different ways. So many different things are pulling for your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with meditation, it allows me to just go inward and just be with myself.
For sure.
Like if I want to freaking cry,
yeah,
like I'm crying with me, you know, like if I want to hug myself, like I hug me, you know, because that fills up my cup.
Yep.
It's part of my morning vipassana. So, you know, I wake up, I hop into meditation, go to journaling, and then I read. And that's been one of the main components in shifting my life, period.
Yeah.
Like, period. Just introducing a morning routine.
It's powerful, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I've known about meditation for a while. But I feel like I just got really serious with it this last year. Well, this last month and a half, I've been looking at it more, trying to get back into myself, get back a solid foundation. I downloaded the Sam Harris Waking Up app, and just every day I've just been on it. And I find myself realizing, I mean, it's kind of already knew, I've used other avenues approach like shamanic breathing, different exercises where I've been able to go into like a psychedelic trip without taking any type of drugs or anything by just breathing. You look it up. It's out there.
Yeah.
I was talking to the audience, not you, obviously.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Look it up.
Look it up.
Look it up, bro.
Look it up. It's out there.
Bro, when I tell people that shit by just breathing, bro, they're like, what are you talking about? Bro, breath is powerful, right? Like your breath is powerful. But meditation has been bringing me something different where it's like I'm able to remember that there's something in me that's timeless, right? And that the me is not always fast, is not always, right? Not always, doesn't have to be attached to the emotion that I'm feeling at this moment right now. And it's making me a better dad. It's making me a better husband. I'm trying to be a better friend, pay attention, listen to people more, because we get so drawn into wanting to talk or wanting to do all those different type of goals that we're hitting, and we lose control. Yeah. And I feel like I don't feel as, what's the right word? I don't even know the right word, but myself. I guess that's pretty much it. I feel like I'm being pulled on so many other people's directions. They want me to do this. I need to do this. Or even goals become something. It's like, remember, I wanted to chase this goal. Remember, I wanted to do these things. And don't get lost in the process of doing it, but also, like what you were talking about earlier, staying in it with the passion that I want to. Yeah. This is the thing that I want to do, right? And always remembering the why, of course, and obviously that. But meditation has literally become one big thing that's been really helping me lately with that. So I really find that. And also the morning, thanks for sharing your morning routine. I think everyone got to do it, man. Yeah. I don't know what time you wake up. Everyone has their own thing. I was talking to a buddy yesterday. He likes 6 hours of sleep. And I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I have it like from 9:15 to 5:15, 8 hours. That's what that's my goal. That's awesome. Every time that's what I need to go. Yeah. Monday through Friday, that's when my alarm on, and that's the time I wake up, because I need that little bit of time by myself in the morning before the kids pull me, before the military asks me these things for their husband duties, all these other things that come out of the work and trying to create everything else. It's like I need to get, when I'm saying you, is that I need to stay solid in who I am and what I'm trying to pursue and what turns me on, man, what gives me that passion.
Absolutely, man.
Because what other reason am I here for, bro? Yeah. This shit gets me feeling good, excited. I'm happy to be here with you right now, this goddamn moment. Like, I'm grateful. I feel good. These are the skills that I want to develop. These are the connections that I want to build. So how do I continue to make the life that I want to do? And through meditation, I feel like it helps me remember, and those are the things that I want to do, because it makes me feel good, just like I'm in that state, that altered state when I'm meditating. Yeah. I that all that totally resonates with me, man. Yeah, bro. Because like if you're not in line with who you are, we can get caught up, like just in general, like we can get caught up with like the scrolling, the Netflix and all this other everything stuff. Else. Yeah. And for me, like that morning routine or any moments by myself allows me to run through my life with intentionality. Mm-hmm. Because so often, like you mentioned, like the dad duties come up, like the spouse duties, like all these things pop up. Yep. And then we don't have a clear path. I always give this example. Like if we're in this room here and I say, yo, like walk from that corner to that corner, like that's point A and that's point B, right? Walk to it, right? Then you can there's a clear path. Yeah. Even if I push a chair or a table in front of you while you're walking, you know that your point B is over there. Yes. So that's a clear direction. Yes. And for me, like that's what intentionality, meditation, sitting in prayer, journaling, like allows me to do, is to get a clear point B. Not to say that the point B is going to be blue, green, red, or a circle or a square. Yeah. But I'm getting to that point B. Got you. Now, if somebody doesn't have a point B and you say, hey, walk to that corner or walk to a corner, and you throw a chair in front of them, they're going to like... They get obsessed with the chair. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stutter, step, obsessed with the chair, all the things. Anything. Yep. And they don't have a clear path. Yes. So to me, like that's what this meditation and all that stuff kind of does for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast or the YouTube channel, whatever the hell this is going to turn into, everything, honestly, is because I love conversations. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy at the end of the conversation when I feel like inspired, I feel good, that dopamine hit. Like, dude, I just connected with somebody, plus how many lessons that I just learned. How can I incorporate this in my life? And the whole reason for that, it turns, going back to your grandfather, bro. Mm-hmm. So my brother passed away in 2008. And little did I know that started a whole new revelation for me in my life and where we're taken. And then I went to Afghanistan a little bit a year after my brother died. So in 2008, my brother died March. I left for training and then Afghanistan in April of 2009 or 2009. Did I say 2009 for my brother?
2008.
Okay, 2008, 2009. And then my son was born 10 days before I left to Afghanistan.
Wow.
So like the realization of death is like always in my head, bro. Mm-hmm. So it's just like I'm super fixated on how death can change lives and also how it affected me. And just like how you saying your grandpa, like that was a big thing that made you realize I need to look at myself and figure out what life do I want to live, right? So what did that do to you? How did that change you? Because for me, little did I know, I mean, I was only 19 years old at the time, or 20 years old at the time when he passed away. And man, I went through a years of depression, years of stuff, man. And I feel like honestly now I'm barely starting to realize that I had hurt for pain for so long that I'm trying to get to. What did that do for you? And then how did that inspire you to like create the life that you wanted because you saw someone you love so much no longer here?
I'll give you a little story, man. Every day that my grandpa would leave, he owned 7-Elevens. So every night that he would leave to go to 7-Eleven and, manage his store. Yeah. I'd sit on the steps, like I'd be on the steps and I'd give him a big hug, and then he would walk out the door. And at the house that I lived in with my parents, the front door was like a walkway, and then there was a corner, right? So if you can imagine, like, here's the front door. Yeah. There's like a little, maybe like 10-step walkway, and then the corner to the driveway. Okay. Like, so after the person hits the corner, you can no longer see them. Okay. So growing up, like my pattern of behavior was to give him a hug, and I would watch him walk the corner, right? I'd watch him walk the corner, and then and then see the car turn on because the lights would like reflect on the garage. The day that he died, I did the same thing, right? As the coroner picks him up and they bag him up, and then they take him out, right? And as he hits the corner, that's when his like feet and that last person hits that corner. I realized that like he's not coming back. Yeah. Right. So for me, like that was a deep realization that life is so short, and the moments that we have like here are so imperative. And why, up until that point, like why lead a life of disservice to yourself? Why lead a life for other people when ultimately this life is yours? Yeah. So through that experience, I realized that I can continually create my own box. I can make Tyson's own journey. Yeah. I don't have to qualify for any college scholarship, anything like job, or be anybody else but who I want to be. Yeah. And that's what continually drives me, because I know that the moments in time, like the moment that we die, like it's just like literally like just a speck in time. There's this amazing quote that I love. It's by Macklemore, rapper Macklemore. Yeah. It's through the song Glorious. And he goes, "They say you die twice. Once is the first time that they bury you in the grave. The second time is the last time somebody mentions your name." Ooh. So when reminds me of Coco. Yeah, yeah. When I think about that, like how long do I want people to remember me? Yeah. Selfishly or not. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. And also like positive impact. Yeah, yeah. Like what? Like Steve Jobs. Like that dude's been, I don't know how long he's been dead. Yeah. But he's been dead for a long time, and we still use his phones. And we still do, hell yeah. And we're going to continue. No, for sure. Phones, yeah. You know? Like some type of legacy that keeps on with you over and over again. Like these things are involved in culture now. Yes. Like the phone is this thing right here.
it's such involved, and he created it based off the experiences that he had, what he had to go through.
Yes.
And now look, we're never going back.
Yeah.
You
so
know?
that honestly, man, like that's what inspires me, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then through my experience with plant medicine and psychedelics,
Yeah.
I felt that I've experienced what death would feel like.
Oh,
you know?
Nice. Yeah. Going through that.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, and this is what makes me grateful for the moments,
Yeah.
right? Because bro, like I cannot wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a lot
that
of
simple.
people that don't wake up.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I don't know why, man. It's a fucked up thing, but that's where I'm at. Like, I remember Christmas Day, I woke up and I forgot where I was going, but I was like, literally, someone's going to die today.
Yeah.
And this is Christmas. And it's sad that someone's going to get a phone call right now and say, hey, your father, whoever, whatever name, role they want to give them is gone. And it's just like that gratitude of, no, not gratitude of, just that consistent gratitude for living, man.
Yeah.
You know, that I get to see you, that I get to touch my brother's hand right now.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro, we're here, we're alive, we're going. And I think that those are things that we got to keep reminding ourselves and have some type of practice some type of daily practice that make us remember that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, one of the goals with this podcast is relationships, man. I think I don't say the only reason, obviously, like, we're meant to live, but it's like we're here for each other, man.
For sure.
Like, what else we got?
For sure.
You
like
know?
all the other shit, like all the other like material stuff is all cool and like that's icing on the
It's
cake.
dope. Yeah.
But like really like it is to experience other humans and like the love frequency, man. Like as like quasi or corny that might sound, but like the love frequency is for real, like the legitimate reason why we're here. You know, we get to experience other humans.
And I get to experience all of you. And I think one of the goals for this podcast, I think, and me and my personal goal is like, how can we make everybody feel safe enough for they allow that expression to come out? Right? Because, I have the same belief, but I was watching videos, right? I got to do my homework. You said I believe the same thing. Everybody has a gift to share. Mm-hmm. But your gift doesn't look like mine.
Yeah.
But you have to find that. I can't help you find that. I can't help you when you're depressed. I can't help you when you're angry. These are things that you have to define. So that's why Decisive Element, you're the one who has to decide what you're going to express and how you're going to express it. Do you want to be the best self when you express that self? Because what I'm trying to do is just literally create more mirrors of myself.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, bro, like I just want to be my best self. So can you be your best self? And then based off that, where are we going, bro?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
I love that, man.
You know what I'm saying? And because, you know, with my death experience, relationships, you know, I feel like there's times where my ego gets involved and, you know, when you're in an argument or you're upset or you get some judgment. And I always come back to the realization that like, man, I just got to apologize, say, fuck it. Mm-hmm. What am I holding on to this shit for?
For sure.
You know, why am I holding on to dead weight? Why am I holding on to toxic things that take away from the relationship that I'm trying to have?
For sure.
You know, and get all those blocks away from me.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's a daily practice, I feel like, you know, and we have to continue to do that. So I think that the meditation and all those things, they become like little North Stars. Or for me, I also use like physical fitness. Mm-hmm. I'm a very physical person and I need to move. And it's funny, my wife said something to me. My little 7-year-old, he's freaking wild, bro. And he'll just jump on her. Like, he don't care how big he's getting. He just grabs her ass and all this. And I went up to give her a hug one time, and she, like, backed up. I was like, what's up? What's going on? And she was like, you're like my son. Like, you're just going to grab me. Like, she was like, grab my arm. Come closer. It's like, I need to know we're not to get tackled right now, you know? But it's like, I love that shit. I love to be that, and I love to go there. But I feel like whatever for me to get into my body, like physical fitness helps me do that.
For sure.
You know, it gets me that adrenaline. It reminds me when I'm running, man. When I run long distance or when I just get into that zone, you know, it's a little spiritual moment for me. Like I'll even run and I put my hands down and I'm just like running and I'm just trying to be grateful in that moment to feel the fatigue that's happening, to hear my mind. And then also get to that spot where it's just like is.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, bro, like that, I think people have this notion of like what meditation is, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a form of meditation.
Oh, for sure.
Like painting, drawing, like swimming, like running, right?
Yeah,
like that euphoric high. And it doesn't even have to be a euphoric high. It's just a pure presence moment. Yeah. You know, those moments where you're like, like you said you were running and you're just grateful.
Yeah.
Like that is a form of meditation.
For sure. Yeah. So. Everyone just has to
find what works for them.
I was about to say, you got to find your medicine.
Just like physical fitness or just like any diet, like keto or low carb or vegan.
Pescatarian, I don't know. All the
whatever
all
it is.
The fucking names.
You got to find what works for you.
For you. And that's the thing I want to share with this thing. So like, the things that work for me is the physical fitness, the writing, the talking. I love conversation like this. And obviously, I guess we can see some of yours is the meditation, the daily journal. What else you got up those sleeves, bro? Huh? Plant medicines, you come up with that stuff?
Yeah.
What are the type of things that you do? How do you build relationships with people?
How do I build relationships with people? Man, when it comes to building relationships, man, it's really just connection, man. Like connection over time and being present. You know, like it's like if somebody like my mentors of mine, and even that individual that I was mentioning earlier on.
Okay, yeah.
If I dropped this.
You good?
If they if I want or inspire to have something that maybe I see that is admirable, like whether it's their material possessions or like their knowledge, or their like wantingness to grow in a podcast space or YouTube space, and I have some opportunities to serve. Yeah, like that's how I cultivate relationship, man. Yeah. Like I really cultivate relationship through service,
Hell yeah.
And
I mean
and then if somebody has something that like I inspire to receive, like same thing, like how can I serve them, or how can I bring benefit? Because our relationship has to be like give take, yin yang.
Yeah, because that's the world.
Yeah,
the world is a give and take, right? We all need different things to pull there. Yeah, hell yeah, man. Well, shit, bro, we about to hit an hour.
I was gonna ask really quick, because you guys were talking about like meditation. I'm a kind of person where I just have a really hard time like getting. I don't know. I just feel so phony every time I sit down to try and meditate. Like I'm all quiet and I don't know. I just feel it feels so. To me, it feels like not to say it is, but it feels like fake. Yeah. So I think a lot of people they like that idea. You say like meditate, it makes you feel better. But I feel like a lot of people they have a hard time actually like establishing how to start it, because like every time I try and meditate I always feel like I don't even know how to get into. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people that might be listening to this are like, yeah, meditation sounds great, but how do I get in? Like, you know what I mean? Because
and honestly too, like I think meditation is very similar to yoga and also very similar to sushi. And like what I mean by that is if you go to a sushi restaurant that's like a C-grade sushi restaurant, and you're like, you have sushi for the first time, you're like, yo, this shit sucks.
Yeah.
That's the similar feeling that you can get with meditation and yoga. If your introductory thing to those moments are like, that sucked. For me, I got started with meditation through a UCLA. I went to UCLA website, and there was this 3-minute breathing exercise for people that work in an office.
Right.
Oh, no way. They had it.
Yeah. And that's how I got started. And it was like 3 minutes. 2 of those minutes were sit up straight, and
so you would just listen to like an audio while you're at work.
Yeah. I actually, it was like in my yard, like in my front yard, and it was like sit up straight, and then it was like breathe in for 4 seconds. And I'm like, okay, I could do this. And it was just super quick. And then I said, oh, I like the way that felt. Almost like running or working out.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, okay, I like the way that felt. After this recording's done, let me play it again. So now it went from 3 minutes to 6 minutes.
Okay.
Then I was like, let me play it again. So now I'm up to 9 minutes.
So would you suggest to like someone who, would you be like, okay, well, why don't you, is there like YouTube videos or something like that probably has it? Or
Yeah. Breath work, man. I can give you the link.
Yeah, bro.
So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking for me and also,
we can put it
I'll throw it down.
Yeah, bro. There's one of what's this place? It's called shift.com, I believe. SH and then TF, but they have like a slash. And I love their stuff because it's about working out, optimal working out. And the whole thing was about breathing. And I'm going to ask him to get on here. Brian McKenzie, I think is his name. But there's like gears, and how you breathing determines your aerobic or anaerobic exercises. So breathing, bro, is pretty much life. And That's all you got to do, right? So meditation is literally just about breathing. So a lot of it comes into is just when I hear people say that stuff about meditation, it's like, for me, the first thing is, and I guess it sounds like a judgment, but you can't sit with yourself, right? Just allow yourself.
I mean, there's a lot of people, you know, like I'm a little bit younger. I feel like a lot of people, you know, that grew up always had the internet. Like, you know, they're constantly getting something shoved in their face. So it's like hard to turn all that off.
To detach for a while. And that's the thing, that it's like patience and empathy for yourself, compassion for yourself, all these things got to come in there. But it's just like you got to turn it into a practice, man. But once you keep doing it, then you start coming into like what he says, I like how I feel right now. And that's what I've started to realize. Like, man, I like that when it's like, I don't know, you know, I'll just use the example of 2:00, but it kind of happens to me throughout the day, depending on what's happening to me. But I need to take a 10-minute meditation break right now, because let me close the door. I need to lay on the ground and just come back to me right now, because I know if I keep going the way I'm going, something's not going to happen the way I want it to happen in my intentional, the way I'm trying to live.
For sure.
So it's like, I need to be able to sit there and come. So it's just kind of like a practice, you know, like I've done it off and on, but right now it's why I made it a practice, 30 days at least. And then I'm like, I'm saying 30 days because I'm giving myself like short-term goals to accomplish and feel good about. But in my mind, it's like, this is a forever thing. Like, I can't stop. Just like working out. Yeah. It's a forever thing. I have to do it. My body feels better. My mind feels better. And I think I was talking to a friend, you got to learn how to streamline things that work good for you. Don't make them a consistent question, right? Meditation works for you. Yeah. Why am I going to continue questioning this thing? Yeah. You know, or working out. Yeah. We keep like, we're always like, I think it's because we get that from other things. Is this the car I want today? Is that the shirt I want today? Is that? Okay, but I can go get this now. I can go this now. And then we apply that to ourselves, you know, and we need to be able to take that away. We put too much stuff on us. So meditation actually releases that, makes you calm, makes you pay attention. And then you'll see the reward little by little, man.
Yeah, for sure. And something, you know? I'll add to that too. Yeah. Is like real shit, man. Like, just anybody out there that's like interested in just being more present, because that's what meditation is go to the park, find some grass, take off your shoes, and then feel the grass on your feet. And then just
it sounds so simple, but it actually sounds kind of nice now that you're saying that.
You know, like,
I might go to the park after this.
You should, bro. Lay under the goddamn tree.
Real. Like, we were at the park a couple days ago and took off our shoes and like just laid in the grass and like felt the grass like on my skin. You know, because grass like is living. You know, like that shit's living.
I wrote a paper on this, man. No, like I wrote a paper on this. So I'm a psychology student. If I continue my where I'm going, like, I want to get my psychology degree and keep going into probably some other stuff. Industrial organization psychology, where I go into businesses and, you know, the culture of all that different stuff. And I wrote a paper back in the day, a couple of years ago, about greens and blues and all those the natural colors. Like, they do something subconsciously to your mind. Yeah. They make you feel calmer. They make you feel more at ease. They make you feel just more peaceful. So going into nature, what we do, you know, my wife was like taking out the kids to homeschool. Well, I mean, not homeschool, but while we were doing the virtual learning, halfway through the day between when they both have a break, she takes them across the street to the park. And then one day we didn't do that. And then by 4:00 when they were done, it's like the whole family got into a little argument. Yeah. Right. And it was like, it's because we didn't go outside. Yeah. And then it was like, we have to do this thing every day. The kids need to go outside and play. You need to go outside and play and leave all your shit there and go. Yeah. And now that we do that, it's just so much better. We were out yesterday. We do handstands, throw the football. We laugh at my dog because she goes crazy. Yep. You know, it's just that time out, but that 45 minutes, even 20 minutes sometimes, like it seems like a longer time, but you're only there for 20 minutes, but it does so much good to you when you go back and you're back at work and you're back at school and you're back doing whatever it is. So get outside, mofos. Yeah. Get outside.
Yeah. Love it.
All right.
Love it.
Well, bro, I appreciate you coming here, man. Cool, man. I hope I can have you here again one day. And we'll find out what it is, or maybe it's just keep the void, bro.
This,
you know, we'll keep the void.
I love it.
We're progressing little by little, man. So I just want to say thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it. I
appreciate you, man.
Keep doing what you're doing. Tyson DeLacruz, what do you say, on all platforms?
On all platforms, Instagram at Tyson DeLacruz, TikTok, Facebook,
TikTok,
YouTube.
TikTok's the spot, dude.
Dude, TikTok's,
I tell
the
everybody.
spot.
He's been
Truly.
telling me, bro, right now,
Yeah.
bro, TikTok, man.
Because the
TikTok.
algorithm, it's just nuts.
I got swooped up on the algorithm last night.
Oh,
Man.
did
It was
you?
crazy.
It's,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's exhilarating. It's
It's
the
great.
best. It's
All
the
right.
best.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Thanks,
you
bro.
again.
I appreciate
and we'll
you.
see you
Yeah.
soon.
All right.
All right, bro.
Outro music.
Boom.